Hi, you're listening to Abbacadabra Radio. This podcast is for my conscious creator friends, my manifesting besties. This is part stream of consciousness, part talking with people who love to talk about conscious creation, manifestation, spiritual things, anything in between. And it is my hope that through this podcast, I expand my own awareness and understanding of myself, and you guys do too. I am happy to have you guys here along for the ride. Hello, my conscious creator friends. Here we are back with yet another episode of Abbacadabra Radio. I'm Abby, your host. Look at us with another video podcast. Of course, before I get started, you guys know on the website we have the Opening Up to Money Masterclass with the prices slashed, more than half off, just for now, for forever. So I have the love hypnosis, opening up your heart and mind and deepening your connection with love. We have the identity shifting hypnosis, which allows you to step into that new version of yourself and give you the permission to show up that way over and over and over again. We also have the money hypnosis, which will strengthen, improve, and deepen your relationship with money. And when that happens, you will see it starting to come into your life more and more and more. We also have reality creation consulting. If you want to do this and talk back to me and have me talk back to you and talk about things that pertain to your manifestation journey, that is definitely for you. And of course, you guys know we have the timeline shifting audio, which will guide you through shifting consciously the timeline that you are in, because we're constantly shifting timelines. And of course, we have the blueprint method, the method that is a 3-part meditative process that I personally guide you through with recordings. And the idea is that within 30 days of this practice, you will be aligning more deeply or extremely successfully with the desire that you hold, that you are looking to call in. It's worked for me, it's worked for other people, so have at it if you're interested. Let's get into today's episode. So this is going to be a lot of bit. Some people might think this is a little bit extreme, because we're gonna get into, I know I was talking about consciously living inside out in my first video episode, and more on my journey, I am really diving into inside out. Circumstances not having as much of an effect as what you're deciding. Again, it's something that I am navigating on my own, so you're probably gonna hear more and more about this as I go on my journey with it, but I'm starting and the realizations that I'm having are big, so I figured, why not share it with you lovely people? Because if this is working for me, it's probably gonna work for other people too. I wanna start by think about your reality. Think about the life you live. Think about you in your body. All of the things that you see outside of you are not you. That's not you. You being in your body, these clothes, these earrings, that's not me. Even this hair, that's not me. I am the soul inside of the body. I'm not a body with a soul. I'm a soul with a body experiencing itself, experiencing the universe, experiencing everything as I go. The circumstances that come into your life are neutral. They don't have any meaning until we give it meaning. And as soon as we assign meaning to something, it's really easy to continue to assign that same meaning to this thing. So if something happened and had a negative seeming consequence that you had to deal with or experience, now you're going to assign that thing, that's bad. That can't keep happening because that's bad. That's not necessarily how it has to work, because you get to create the rules. We create the rules. We create what we focus on, and the things that you focus on are what you're going to see more of. Your brain will not pay attention to, even if the best things are coming in, they're going to say, well, I fell this morning and I'm hurt, so I can't enjoy this thing because I fell this morning and I'm hurt. No, it doesn't have to be that way, but a lot of the times it is, because we get so caught up in things we don't like, and we continue to tell the stories of the things that we don't like, but then that's all we're going to see. That's all we're creating for ourselves. We are walking, talking manifestors. We are walking, talking creators. You're like a wizard, okay? Do you understand, you're a wizard? You're a wizard, Harry? You are creating your reality? Whether you want to or not, we're just trying to do it consciously. I'm just trying to help you guys do it consciously. And I know it's not easy to be I'm just gonna ignore the outside. we are humans, like we live a 3D experience. So that's where this gets kind of difficult, because it's like, I want to live a circumstances don't matter, only state of being matters mindset. Like I want to live like that, but sometimes it's really hard because circumstances are circumstances and I have to live with these things. So I just want you guys to play around with, and I'm playing around with, having the subtle awareness as things are happening, whether they are good or bad, both in all times, that these things are just showing up. These things are all neutral. These things are not who I am. It's not who I am. They might be great things. There are great things in my life, but I'm not my house. I'm not my relationships. I'm not the clothes I wear. I'm not even this podcast. It's bigger. It's more. And playing around in that energy and being curious in that energy has opened a lot of new things for me. And I've found that when I'm going through contrast, it's helped me a lot navigate it and not get overtaken by it. Because what would happen is contrast would happen. And I have a lot of the same kind of things happen at work, using this as an example. And I'll get overtaken by circumstances, and I'll get really, really mad, and I'll get annoyed, and I'll get this, and I'll get that. And I react on autopilot the same exact way. Since I've started playing around with this energy, one of the things that I'm reminding myself to do is to take a pause and to say, I am not this thing. I am not this. I am not this contrast. I might have created it, but I am not this. And it helps me, and I just remind myself, I'm a soul. I am not outside. I am not circumstances. I am not even this body. I am just a soul. This was not my original idea. Like, this idea is not originally mine. This idea is originally, I'm going to put his name in the bottom. I highly recommend that you look up their YouTube channel. I highly recommend that if the things that I say in this episode resonate, that you look into their content, because it has really opened my eyes. I'm very, very grateful to this creator for putting their videos out and putting the knowledge that they have out, because the more we put out the things we know and experience, the more everybody else has the ability to know and experience themselves in a different way. And it's really, really beautiful. So definitely go check him out. But he had said, as a practice, try breathing in. Like, as you breathe in, you say, I am not this body. And as you breathe out, you say, I am this soul. And there's a little more to it. Just go look into this creator. But that is something that I've worked on doing, and it has shifted a lot of things for me. Things that I would usually like fly off the handle about, I have been able to like identify and say, like, I just don't feel like doing that right now. I don't feel like I'm not this body, I am this soul. Like, I just don't feel like identifying so deeply with this contrast that has showed up. It just doesn't matter. Like, the idea to fly off the handle, the idea to get worked up about it doesn't occur to me. I can more calmly navigate the contrast, or the things that I might not generally love, which is great, which is what everybody would want, right? When you stop letting your circumstances dictate your state of being, like when you stop letting the outside affect you, you get to start affecting the outside. That's inside out living. When you stop letting everything tear you down, break you down, and you continue to identify with that torn down, broken person, which I've been there. I get it. Sometimes we're there, we learn things and we can move on. Everything does happen through us for a reason, to lead us to the next best thing. So we're not trying to spiritually bypass, but at the same time, we're not trying to identify so deeply with the things that have happened to us, whether they're good or bad, that they now control the narrative of our life. An example I will use is my mom passed away when I was 25. My mom passed away 3.5 years ago. And I could easily identify with the girl with the dead mom. I could. I don't like that idea at all. I identify as a strong, independent woman. That's how I feel. I feel strong. I feel independent. I feel loved. I feel worthy by so many different people in my reality, by so many circumstances in my reality. But at the same time, I know those things aren't me. You know, like when you can detach from the outside telling you what you already know about you, that ability to be that version of you that has it, that commands it, it gets bigger, it gets easier, and you feel like you have the power back in like the center of your being. That's the best way I can describe it. And it feels nice. It feels nice to know that, like, if contrast happens, if stuff hits the fan, I'm good. I've navigated it before. I can navigate it again. I know I'm still gonna have contrast, and I don't want people to think that if you just like there's no magic wand that is gonna make you stop being a human living in a 3D reality at this point right now. Not that I know of. If you guys know of something, you better let me know. So like, you're still going to have negative things happen, seemingly negative things happen. Everything in your reality, it's gonna happen. Things are gonna happen. What matters isn't the circumstances. It's how you decide to respond to the circumstances, which is all the stuff that I continue to say day in and day out until the cows come home. Circumstances don't matter. We made them up. We made up the importance of them. We made up how much they affect us. We decide, because sometimes you can be in a really bad mood and something will happen and affect you in a really negative way and send you into a spiral. And like 3 months later, you could be in a totally different mindset, and so that same thing happens and you don't even acknowledge it, or like don't give it a second look, because you're like, okay, like it's okay, that's happening. Like, but I've had times where, I mean, everybody's had times where, you know, a situation continues to show up in a certain way and you continue to react in a certain way, and maybe you get angry about it, maybe you get upset about it, maybe you feel totally unjustified in what's happening, and that's all okay. You just don't want to get on the bandwagon of identifying as that person for the rest of X amount of time, whether it's your whole life, whether it's a portion of your life, whether it's an hour. So that means not telling everybody, here's why I'm angry, here's why I'm sad, here's why I'm mad. If you're just looking for people to say, yeah, that's awful, yeah, you're justified in that. Like, if you're looking for reality to say, yes, you should totally feel this way, because reality is not, when you come from the unconscious place of, I'm at the whim of my reality, you're at the whim of your reality. Whatever happens, you're gonna be taken for a ride. I'm just trying to not be taken for a ride anymore. I'm trying to control the ride, trying to drive the ride, you know? You're trying to drive the ride, and you can. So you need to find what works for you. Maybe it is the whole breathing in, I am not this body, breathing out, I am this soul, and holding on to that and identifying with that and seeing what that does for you. Again, very, very powerful for me, but it's gonna be different from person to person. But I still wanted to share this because I think it's important to share things like this so we can all expand, like I said earlier. I wanna leave you guys with the idea that maybe this whole reality creation thing, manifesting, can be a fun, like, experience, way of living, way of being. Because when you stop seeing manifesting as a superpower and just something that you inherently do, it becomes a lot easier. It's not something you get into, it's something that you understand about yourself deeply. Manifestation is not about, I want that car, there it is. I wrote it 55 times in my journal, there it is. Manifestation is the ability to consciously realize how you are responding to things and then shifting it for ways that will make you feel better, for ways that will maybe support the state of being you want to be in. It's not about the material things. We're not actually even looking for material things, because your soul is only experiencing feeling states. It's not experiencing the physical. It's not experiencing stuff like this. It's experiencing the experience, like, of maybe having that feeling of worthiness, having that feeling of health, having that feeling of love. And we have the ability to tap into this often, whatever the feeling state is. But we want circumstances to tell us it's okay to feel that way. And we don't necessarily need to wait for the world to say, you can feel loved now, you can feel worthy now. Maybe for some of you, this is a mirror of me saying you can, because I'm telling you right now, you get to decide if you can. and only you can decide if you can. The outside could tell you a million times you're beautiful, but if for some reason you have programming that says you're not going to take it in. You're not going to see it. You're not going to hear it. You're not going to accept it. It has to come from here. You are not this body. You are the soul. You are not your circumstances. Anyway, I like that one. I'm gonna leave it here. I feel like the way that I talk today and like my energy just feels really different. And I don't even know why I'm telling you guys that. Maybe you guys will be like, yeah, it does sound different, or it does feel different. Or maybe you guys are gonna say it's exactly the same. We still love it. I don't know. Okay, you guys know questions and any other things you might need, you can email abbacahdabrapod@gmail.com. I have I have the email in the show notes. I have the website in the show notes, and I'm looking forward to connecting with you guys. So leave any comments you want, questions about for next week's. I like the idea of answering questions on the next podcast that are left for this one, like on this one or on previous ones. So if you ever have any and you want to just comment or post in the thing about like, here's one that I have, and if it's something I have the ability to answer, I will answer it. If it's something I don't have the ability to answer, I'm not gonna try, because I don't want to give someone a disservice of like trying to make up something, but I don't think that's gonna happen. Okay, my friends, until next time, this is Abby signing off.